Viewer discretion be advised. This video is not geared towards children. This video showcases the usage of sharp objects and resin. Resin and X-Acto knives are meant to be handled by adults,
not children. So this video is not geared towards children, but it is family friendly so children can watch, but it's not geared towards children.
Thank you. Hey guys, happy LPSTube Day of 2020! I'm back at it again with customizing a large jumbo LPS pet. So to get started, we're going to take the factory paint off with 100% acetone and some cotton balls. Once that's done, we're going to use our X-Acto knife to take the eyes out because we're replacing them with resin eyes. We're going to start out in the middle so that if you mess up, it won't harm the overall look. And we're going to take out small chunks at a time as best we can. This was a bit difficult due to the thick plastic of the jumbo LPS head, but with some patience and time, it got squared away. I'm going to go around the edges last, making sure that I go slowly so I don't mess up. And then I'm going to go underneath the circumference of the eye to shave off as much plastic as I can underneath to make the plastic as thin as possible to help when I am ready to put the resin eye in there. It'll give way better.
So that's what I'm doing, shaving up.
And it looks really good. Spooky. Ooh. Next up, I'm going to use some polymer clay to make the base for our resin eyes. I tried to size it up as best that I can and use my paint palette to try to make equal wells for the resin to sit in on both eyes. Now, I would recommend using the eye molds. I have some eye molds, but they are not big enough for a jumbo pet, so I had to make my own. And they turned out as best they could, but I would have definitely preferred using a mold for my first resin eye custom. Next up, you can see I tried painting with gold paint. I didn't like it, so I grabbed some glue and painted the glue on the inside of the eyes. And I'm going to use some gold hollow glitter to layer around on the inside of the eye. I think the hollow will look really great with the resin on top, so I'm going to try that instead of gold paint. On last year's custom, I wrote all the names of the people, the LPS tubers that inspired me and influenced my channel. But this year I wanted to do a more subtle custom, and I wanted to have LPSTube Day on there somewhere. So I chose the eyes, but instead of writing out LPSTube like I wanted to, I just had 3 gems in one eye for LPS and 4 gems in the other eye for tube, T-U-B-E. So again, just a little subtle nod. I didn't record that process, I'm sorry, but that's the whole meaning behind, well, why don't you have the same gem number in each eye? Well, that's why. Next up, I made some epoxy resin to pour into the eyes. This is where I saw how unlevel the eye well was and how it should have been deeper as well. So I had to use some buffing nail file to steady the walls of the eyes so that the resin could go inside of them better. Unfortunately, the resin spilled over, so I didn't dome them as one should. But if you're making your own resin eyes at home, make sure that you dome them. I think the bigger the eye, the harder it is to dome them without spilling. So be careful and maybe not have your first resin eye custom be a jumbo pet like me. Learn from me. Now while the resin is curing, I'm going to paint a base coat onto the custom. And while I was on YouTube looking for resin eye help, I came across Delightful Stockbox Nova doll. And I've seen it before, obviously, but
well, not obviously. I like Delightful's customs, they're cool.
but I've seen it before and I've wanted to try for a while the watercolor effect that she does on that doll. She takes acrylic paint, has it really watered down, and just kind of plays with it so that the paint can mold together and make all these beautiful colors, and it looks like a really cool marble watercolor effect, and it's really cool on her doll. So I wanted to do that for a while. I wanted to try making a custom like that for a while, but the small LPS seemed a bit too small to do that. So I thought this would be a great chance to try that on a bigger scale. So here I am starting to apply some acrylic paint. It's watered down more so than usual, and I just played with it. I used only 3 colors, a purple, a dark violet, and a turquoise. And you might recognize these colors from the Furby eye that I did in one of my first resin Furby customs. And it doesn't turn out great on a big scale. It's very watery, it looks leaky, it looks sad. So to save it, I'm going to go back to my roots of dabbing colors on. I don't know if it was the metallic acrylic, but it looked really sad. So thankfully, the dabbing worked. It looks a lot better now, not as smudged, and I'm very happy with how it turned out. We're going to use these cotton balls to fill in the eye holes. No, we're going to use them to fill in the head so that the resin eye has something backing up against it to hold it in place. I saw this technique done with a resin custom tutorial. I linked the video down below, and it's a great tutorial. I probably should have done it better, followed it better. But with the jumbo head, you gotta improvise some. Next, we're going to take the eye and put it in the head. And this takes a bit of effort, a bit of going back and forth with cotton balls and repositioning the eye. And because of the shape of the eye on a bigger scale, it didn't really want to cooperate as well. It didn't lay as flush as I would have liked it to. I'll probably go back in there later with more resin just to try to dome it better. But for now, it turned out pretty okay for my first attempt. I'm pretty happy with it overall. And from a lot of angles, it looks pretty good. This is me deciding I need to take it off camera to fix better. But in the end, here she is. She looks like a watercolor masterpiece. And because of that effect, I went ahead and I'm going to call her Monet after the painter. So here it is, guys. I hope you have a great LPSTube day. I hope you liked this custom. And I hope you get to watch all those fabulous creators that made videos, especially for today. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll see y'all later. Bye!